Welcome back to Gaming with the Hackets. I've been putting off normal mode for way too long, so I'm going to start a new game on normal mode. No tricks. Not going to do the infinite money glitch because I just tried it 3 times and it didn't work. Well, I couldn't get the reactor to melt down after the first time, so that was real fun. Not caps lock. Turn on AO.
Welcome. My name is Al, and I am the operations assistant for the reactor. The plant is ready to go into operation. If you need my help, please let me know.
So we're going to tour the plant. We don't really have to do this, like, first thing, but might as well knock it out of the way. Now we have to worry about audits and stuff with this, which basically an inspector comes by and reviews your logs and sees what everything is, checks like the wear of components, if you're operating unsafe.
New operating mode established. Nominal mode.
Apparently they don't like greater than 49% flow, so keep it less than.
The reactor core coolant has started to circulate.
I'll give it a little bit before I start doing that. Need those to come up a little bit. You can really go down to like 95. Hate when that does that. Nice.
The reactor has reached critical mass, and its status has changed to reactive.
Okay. Now we're waiting for our steam to start. Should probably feed up this condenser a little bit. It's on the low side. Okay, check this temp. Maybe it's not coming up very high. Oh, it's definitely coming up. Okay, it's coming down. We're actually gonna do like 10% or something. All right, maybe 25%.
Warning. Danger alarm.
Oh no, I forgot to ask. I don't get it. It was fine at 30 or 40 just a second ago. And now it's not. Now it's going down. Okay, I'm just waiting for noon. Then the electrical grid connection will be made. I'll stop bypassing and then start sending power to the grid. And there we go. Turbine should start spinning up. Okay. I was gonna say, am I gonna have to bypass that? That's kind of sad because I can't even get up to the required amount. Okay, now we're above. We're still below because of all the power that it takes for this stuff. I mean, I could probably take the fuel panel offline, but that's not really going to do anything. Pressurizer heaters are kind of inconsequential, you know. You have to have them on or you have to have them off. And we're 300 shy. This is where the consumption upgrades come into play because, you know, if you can reduce all your circ pump down to 250, because I think it's a 10% increase for each one. Oh, 5%. So maybe a 25% reduction, so I don't know. A little over 100. Then, you know, that'll help your total power delivered. And then also keeping your steam generators in band will help. If you need more power, you can adjust flow, but like I said, there's that achievement that literally says don't be above 49% power for like 8 hours, and then also auditors don't like seeing the flow above 49, which is kind of weird. Especially since there's no like reactor protection stuff here. Okay, we need to reduce a little bit so we don't shoot up too high. That should be good. And then we can actively check the wear on our components just by doing these. Like if your integrity's going down, then you know it's kind of worn, but best bet is do a maintenance analysis with AO. He'll scan the whole plant. Low fuel. Why is that still on? Manuel. Okay, well I guess I'll go refuel that real quick. Everything's steady state. Oh, I'm a top tier rookie operator. Heck yeah. And just make sure you guys keep up on your fuel consumption. Or, I should say, fuel ordering. You can throw them out or not. And I usually just drop it on the floor. And I think every 5 levels you get a lightning bolt. All right, now we're just monitoring everything and hoping that everything stays in the green band and we don't mess anything up. We can't really do much about power generation. I think 100% would be 5605. So I'm not really sure what 80% would be, but as you can see, we got 92% compliance for that hour, so. And that's that, what's that bar? The 90%. As long as you get that, you're doing pretty good. If you're under, that's fine. If you're over, then you got to be careful because I don't remember what the percent over you can be for normal mode, but it's not that much. And if you go over too much, then I think they actually charge you. So I think yellow is okay. Why am I spiking? What the heck just happened? Yeah, I don't know why the pressure's spiking like that. And I'm guessing the temperature went up because of the pressurizer. Just I mean, I guess it's a thing, but usually it would be on the hot leg. And so this isn't going to put more heat into your steam generator. It's like your pressurizer can actually operate the plant. Well, that's going to wear down my pressurizer. $47.90, huh? Or $49.07. Wow. Whoops. Now we got a bypass. Can't be generating too much power. Apparently a 10% bypass does nothing. There we go. You can use your resistors, but if you use your resistors, you're probably gonna torch them. So really hard to control. Oh, I need to go more than that. Why is it going to 20 when I ordered 17? That's pretty good. Okay. Let's see, where are we at with money wise? 73,844. Yep, okay. Yep. So we can't even afford anything right now. But that's fine. We're just steaming and dreaming. Why am I going up again? Guess it's just little bumps. Do not use emergency services for 3 hours. Oh man, that kind of scared me. It's like, why is it glitching? Okay. Achieve a minimum of 90%. Do not use emergency services for 3 hours. You get just shy of 8,000 points per hour from 1 to 4 a.m., okay? And then get 81% on the day. 39,000. You can get AO to do this stuff for you, but it does cost prestige points every single time he touches the button. And then sometimes he'll get all squirrely and he'll vent your pressurizer or open the cooling valve, and every time I've used him, it wasn't good. So I'm gonna bump that up one more so we can come down about 10 degrees. I don't want to get too high. That will increase the wear. And then, yeah. $47.93. Like, I don't understand why this fluctuates so much. It shouldn't be dancing around like that. Second level novice operator. So I'm watching a show on Netflix called The Days, and it's about the Fukushima disaster. It's a dramatization of it, though, so it's not like a documentary. But it's actually really good. And I watched the 3 Mile Island the other day. That one was pretty good too. That's a docuseries, so actual interviews with people and pretty much sticks straight to the facts. There is some like there's like some acting for some of the parts that couldn't be, that weren't filmed, but other than that, there's a lot of actual footage. Okay. Turn that back on. That's coming down nicely. I don't know why that's bouncing around. Man, now they want more kilowatts. And I swear it's like impossible to, like, if you have to keep your pumps at 49 for these audits and stuff, it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, I guess you could just insert or lower your pumps when you got notified of an audit, but all right, whatever. We're going to go up 3%. Otherwise, we're not going to get this 90%. That didn't give me anything? Oh, that barely even responds. Okay, maybe that will get us close. All right, so now I have 174,000 points. So I think I could afford a steam generator and a circ pump. But that would be it. So no pump to fill up the steam generator, just a pump to circulate the steam generator. Well, the coolant through the steam generator. What? Oh, okay. I was like, how is it 11? And I missed all that. Top tier. All right, give me that pay increase, you know what I'm saying? 9,092. Okay, so I'm just going to go through some stuff while I'm hopefully steady state and they don't have to increase demand anymore. So the fuel is uranium-235. It's a thermal fuel, not a fast fuel. So what that means is you have to have a moderator to actually thermalize the neutrons. So if you look over here, moderation level, as your coolant in the core goes down, your moderation will go down. Also, temperature would also affect moderation level. As water gets hotter, it becomes less dense, so there'd be less moderation, which means that the neutrons released from the fission process get slowed down by this moderation process, basically a scattering reaction between a neutron and water, so a hydrogen. Basically, the neutron hits it, gets some of the energy into the water, and then, oh my god, even more now. And that process will actually take energy out of that neutron, give it to the hydrogen and water, and then it will make so many bounces before it reaches the thermal energy, And then if it's still in the core, then it can react with a few different things. It can get absorbed in rods, it can get absorbed by the core material, or it can get absorbed by the uranium-235. If it gets absorbed by uranium-235, that'll fission. The fission process releases energy by converting mass to energy, and then gives you 2 fission fragments that are roughly equal size. Those fission fragments are contained in the actual uranium pellet, which is ceramic coated, and that's to give it structure, and then also helps prevent like the fission product gases from escaping, which could then cause blistering and then lead to a fuel element failure. And if you have a fuel element failure, that's a pretty bad day for a reactor. So basically anything that's in the fuel, if it blisters and you have that fuel element fail, now that water is getting full of all the fission products, it becomes highly radioactive. And since it's not in the core and being shielded by all the water, it can go throughout the piping and then increase radiation levels. Also, if you have any leaks or if you get a rupture or something, all those fission products are going to escape into the atmosphere and then get released into the environment. And that's, you know, that would be like a really minor occurrence compared to like something like Chernobyl or Fukushima. It's more along the lines of what happened in 3 Mile Island. So they had core damage, and then they had a buildup of pressure in the reactor, so they decided to vent it off, and all those gases that were there were full of fission products. So those fission products got put into the atmosphere and eventually went into the, you know, people's breathing space, and they probably inhaled some radioactivity. And since the power companies try to keep things hush-hush, that led to exposure of people, which, you know, shouldn't have really happened. But it did, so. Okay, pressurizer. Why do we need a pressurizer? Well, I think it's pretty common knowledge that most people can boil water on their stovetops. And that occurs at 100 degrees Celsius or 212 Fahrenheit. And so if you're boiling water at atmospheric conditions, is that very powerful? Do you get a lot of like pressure out of that can, you know, run a giant turbine that has friction and they have really big blades. There's a lot of friction. There's friction between the turbine and the steam, the turbine bearings and the shaft and all that stuff. So you have to have a lot of pressure to overcome that so you can actually get usable work from your steam. So the pressurizer keeps the reactor subcooled at really high temperatures. So we're at, oh, geez, I completely forgot to do this. So at 379 degrees Celsius, I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's more than that. It's like 5/9 plus 32 or 9/5 plus 32, something like that. And basically, right, if you didn't have the pressure to keep the reactor subcooled, then steam would build up in the core, and steam is a terrible heat transfer fluid. So the fuel would heat up, and then now you have to worry about it melting. Then you get a meltdown scenario again. So to mitigate that, with pressurized water reactors, you keep the core pressurized and subcooled. So if you lose pressure control, then that's not a good thing for a pressurized water reactor. That'll actually cause damage. Oh my god. Okay, so that's why we have a pressurizer for pressurized water reactors. You basically keep the reactor subcooled so you can get a lot of heat transferred into a steam generator, which then can use high pressures to run your turbines. And that's why you need the pressurizer. Otherwise, like I said, you'd get steam. Steam's a horrible heat transfer fluid. And then you'd get blistering and fuel element defects and probably actually melt your core. So some boiling is actually good, but it's a slippery slope. Because if you get to a point where you were boiling and now you get past the point of boiling, so there's a lot of more heat coming in, instead of that nice rolling boil that you'd see in your pot, or like, if I can describe this correctly, so like nucleate boiling is where your bubble forms on the bottom and then it pulls away and it collapses. So what that does is it raises like the temperature of the bulk liquid. So all of the liquid will eventually become a nice uniform temperature. So instead of like, you know, oh man, I'm like really subcritical now. Instead of, you know, you just getting a little energy from the fuel plate, the collapsing of that steam bubble is actually it imparting its heat into the bulk liquid. So the whole liquid channel would reach a nice temperature. So otherwise it's just convection. So the water passing past the plate strips out the heat. But like I said, the nucleate boiling actually causes the whole liquid to receive energy. So, but it's bad if you get past it, because then you have to worry about your channel getting like voided, or you get a steam film on your fuel plate, and that's when the danger starts. So most reactors try to keep everything subcooled so that you don't have to worry about that. Okay, all these core parameters, right? You got your flow rate in, your flow rate out. The more heat you pull out of the reactor, the more reactive your reactor will be, especially if it's if it has a positive temperature coefficient of reactivity. That'll cause the reactor to cool down slightly, which will actually raise criticality. And that can raise power. And then your flow rate out, it should be equal to your flow rate in. If it's not, there's a problem. Let's see. Yep. So we already talked about the core level and your moderation. As you can see, this went down, so that went down. And then your flow rate, variable speeds, right? Obviously, you've seen me adjust it numerous times already. So it can operate from anywhere from, 1% to 100%. And that just transfers, adjusts the flow rate and then pulls out a certain amount of heat from the reactor, which then takes it to your steam generator. So this is the temperature, 200 degrees, which is double of boiling, and then there's the pressure. Nope, still none of that. God. Should have just bypassed it. So if you look here, you can actually watch temperature climb a bit. Since we just adjusted flow, it will come up a little bit. And then also pressure will go up. I think we were at 41, now we're at 44. So the steam is superheated and dry. Usually there's like some sort of moisture separator that will get rid of any moisture in the water. And then it sends this dry steam over to the turbine for use. And then the turbine has different stagings in it, and based on the staging of the turbine blades, it can act as like a reaction type or a Rateau, and those just mean that the characteristics of the turbine are a little different. So basically, the Rateau has blades that act like nozzles, so it reduces your pressure and converts it to velocity. So think of like, I don't know if you know what an air ejector is, or basically like a garden nozzle. So you have a hose with like inch diameter, right? And then the nozzle will actually reduce the size of that pipe. So it takes, well, in that case, I think it reduces the pressure and then creates velocity. So it shoots out faster than if you did like, you know, a shower or whatever. If you have those adjustable ones, like the jet is, oh no, went a little too high. I'll just bypass 10%. It'll shoot out faster and farther with the jet than it would with like the shower attachment. So plus, I mean, there's multiple holes, but we're not going to worry about that. So the turbine just takes the steam and then extracts as much energy out as possible and sends it via torque into the actual generator. And then the generator, with that torque, it'll start speeding up and eventually gets to the speed whatever you want to generate power at. So 3600 RPM is like 60 hertz, and this is obviously lower. So this is 3060 for 51. It is based on your like characteristics of the turbine, so like power factor and all this other stuff. But I'm not going to get into that. So based on whatever the generator is, whatever frequency or RPM will control your frequency. And then you want them matched. But when you're bringing it online, you actually want this one. In the real world, you'd want this one slightly higher than this one, the oncoming. The oncoming slightly higher than the running. So you'd actually bump up frequency maybe like 1 to 2% higher than the running frequency. And that's so it can pick up loading right away. Otherwise, you could stand the chance of having it reverse powered, and generators don't really want to become motors, but they can if they're reverse powered, and then you'd have like trips on your breakers and stuff that would keep that from actually happening. Oh. Excuse me. Okay, so the turbine just extracts out as much energy as possible, and then it gets condensed by your condenser. So you've got cold water flowing through, which you can see our condenser temperature is 30 degrees Celsius, which is far less than boiling. And then that water goes back into the steam generator. Which we can see when I do this again. I might just bypass this from now on. Oh my god. Only AO is here to watch. Okay, we lost our pressurizing a little bit. You can start getting in danger if you're not keeping that subcooled. Normally this would be like automatic, so heaters would turn on automatically, spray flow would turn on automatically. The spray flow would basically be this cooling valve. It sprays cold water, relatively cold water. So cold water from your cold leg here into the top of the pressurizer, and that would actually reduce pressure slightly, and then it would secure, and then your heaters would come on when the temperature, well, the pressure drifted down too much. They'd turn on, heat it back up, it would pressurize again. It was just cycles like that, and then you would have a nice control band where you wouldn't ever get too low, you wouldn't ever get too high, instead of me having to do this or tasking a robot to pay it in credits to do all this stuff. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much the big picture side of, oh my god. Big picture side of things here. And I don't even know if I can achieve that. I guess I could go 100%. Already almost there, right? Let's see, what do we get? Not even close. Yep. Which means we might be due for our first shutdown. So I'm gonna have AO
Operator, I'm going to start
do a
the
maintenance
analysis of the
check.
situation of the plant.
I just want to verify. What was that noise? Okay, so these are your loops. This is for like adding water to the core. A lot of people have said this is like cooling. But if you leave this valve open, pressure will just bleed out of your core and go into this tank, apparently. I had like a loss of... the heck? A loss of cooling casualty because of that. I left this open and it just... all the water from the reactor was going in, out of my reactor in here. So as your pressurizer, usually it's on the hot leg. So your hot insurge would go through and go to the steam generator. So this loop would always be a little bit hotter. Wouldn't be on your cold leg.
Maintenance report is complete. Now, you can check it from your tablet.
And usually the pump's on the cold leg side as well, but it doesn't really matter. So water comes from your reactor, goes through your steam generator, gets pushed out, back through. Unless it is like this. Could be, but I would think that the higher point would be your hot leg, but I didn't design this game, so And then your steam comes through this way, through your turbine, goes through your condenser, and then gets pumped back into your steam generator. And then your condenser loop takes the heat from the turbine that it picks up, goes through your cooling towers, and then pushed back into your condenser. Whoops, wrong button. That's pretty much how a reactor works. I can't even keep up. Wonder if this would do anything. It shouldn't, but no, it's just sitting right around 8, I guess. Maybe it is going up a little bit. Okay, wear of the core is 29%, so if we go above 50 and we get an audit, that's bad. 39, 38, 39, 1%. That's probably because I forgot to ask for, you know, a startup. And then our power transformer has 36% wear. That's probably because we're exceeding the 7,500, oh, sorry, 8,500 watts of power that we can actually transfer. Okay, so maybe I should do a shutdown before I get an audit. I don't know when audits happen, but... Oh man, I don't have any things. Maybe it's level 10. I was really hoping for a nice award on my cabinet there. Forgot. You can turn that off. It doesn't matter. Because it's weird like that. How much would this save me if I did this? Insufficient. 6 kilowatts. But then you can't monitor, like, fuel stuff. I don't know what this factor is. I'm assuming that's how much, like, fuel you've used or something. Nope, it just went down and went up, so... I'll have to see in the manual what it says about that, but I've never seen anything about that, so... Okay, we're just steaming and dreaming. Not much going on. Everything looks pretty good. I don't even know how much it would cost to shut down right now. Because I'd have to fix all this stuff. 86. Oh my god, 1,300. Or 13,000. 24,000. 25, 26, 27. We'll call it 28. Wow. 60. 72. Jeez. Okay, well, I guess maybe the best course of action is to shoot. Well, I can't get the parts that I wanted. It's past 11. If I do $2 million loan... I can get a couple power transformers. Okay. So now the order won't complete until like 1800 tomorrow, so you have to wait 11 o'clock rolls around, the order is actually placed. I think it's like, or it's prepared, 1500 it's shipped, 1800 it's delivered, and then depending on the component, it might not be finished until like midnight or 2300, something like that. My God, why did that just shoot up? Okay, now we're... Why are we going down so much? Okay, that was weird. Still no news on an audit. Demand for energy will start to decline. I agree. So we're going to bypass about 10%. See where that gets us. Literally nothing. I don't know why you're going up when I'm bypassing. Literally makes no sense. Why are you going up? Like I'm 40% bypassed. This should be going down. I should be able to deliver half the power that I am. What is going on? Yeah, just shoot right up. That's fine. Oh, now I went way too much. Oh my God. This is like so frustrating trying to control this with these constant changes, especially on like fast mode, because it literally makes it like every, I don't know, minute there's a new power level that you got to try to achieve. Ooh, laptop's getting hot. Yeah, I'm not even gonna touch it. That's fine. But I think I'm gonna actually stop here. So this was a normal playthrough, startup, and just some steady state ops. I know the maintenance cost is like a lot higher than it is in easy, but doesn't seem like it's actually too bad. Still never got my award. Should probably send AO to the charger before he bites the bullet. Yeah, so not much to it. It's pretty much the same. Haven't encountered an audit yet. Maybe that'll be the next time I play this. So thanks for watching, guys, and I appreciate your guys' support. Continue to like and subscribe, and if you haven't checked out Pal World or the Pal World videos I made, you should definitely check it out. The Pal World's actually really fun. I keep saying it's like adult Pokemon, and that's because you go around, you catch little guys called pals, and you can fight guys. You can eventually shoot them. You get a crossbow, you get handguns, you get rifles and stuff like that. But there's a huge map. You get to explore a lot, and it's extremely fun. So definitely check out Pal World if you haven't yet. And yeah, maybe if you want to play, you can shoot me a line on the Discord. I try to go on there daily. Sometimes I'm kind of bad at it. So if you don't hear from me, I will check eventually. And then we can set something up. So thanks, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll check you guys later.